Hey you guys, happy Friday. I hope you guys had an amazing week. If you guys are watching the replay, always let me know in the comments with #replay. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, don't forget to click subscribe right here with this button and give me a thumbs up if you guys find any sort of value in this video. Now today, this was a highly requested topic, is LinkedIn hashtags. How many to use? When do you use them? Which ones to use to get more followers to your profile? All of those good things. Today I'm going to talk everything about LinkedIn hashtags. So if you guys are watching now, replay, or on YouTube, always let me know your questions in the comments. Or if you have another bonus tip that maybe I don't cover out of the 4 tips I'm going to give you guys today, always let me know in the comments, because this is like a collaborative project. Like, I'm here. I'm not saying if I'm like 100% right. There could be something that I forgot. Always let us know in the comments if you know something juicy about LinkedIn hashtags. So today I'm going to talk about LinkedIn hashtags, how to use them to get more exposure on your post. And if you're using the right ones, which is what I'm going to teach you guys how to do today, you'll get new clients, customers, people, or prospects looking at your posts on LinkedIn and hopefully get more business from the content that you're pushing out on LinkedIn, because that's the whole point of posting, right? Is to post valuable content so your ideal clients can find you, and then they can reach out to you or you can reach out to them to get more business. So if you guys aren't on LinkedIn right now, if you're watching on Facebook, maybe you're watching on YouTube and you stumble across this video and you're not on LinkedIn, LinkedIn is where it's at right now. LinkedIn, it has the business mindset. So if you're an online entrepreneur, maybe you're struggling a little bit on Facebook and Instagram because only 3% of your following is seeing your content. I'll link that video up here on YouTube. 3% of your following is seeing your content. If that, I always do these comparison posts where I post literally the same thing in my Facebook group and on my LinkedIn. I have half the amount of following on my LinkedIn profile, which is now like 4,100 followers. I have about 7,000 followers inside of my Facebook group. Only like 3 people like my post inside of my Facebook group, and I get like 150 likes on LinkedIn plus 90 comments, plus it's seen by like 8,000 people. Now, the reason for that being isn't because of the content. It's because of the platform, which is why it's so super important to be very unemotionally attached to platforms that used to work, because platforms change every single day. I can literally do this video and LinkedIn can make a new rule about LinkedIn hashtags. That's why I was like, I need to get on here now and help these people while I can. So, okay, let me get into it. That was like a side tangent. So today I'm going to give you guys 4 tips on how to use LinkedIn hashtags successfully on your profile. So also, before I get started, I want you guys to know that using hashtags on social media, not just on LinkedIn, but on Facebook, Instagram, insert social media platform here, hashtags are not a strategy, okay? Hashtags are a part of a strategy. So you're probably like, Kylie, what does that mean? What that means is this, is that you can't use hashtags, use like the perfect hashtags for your perfect post that took you 5 hours to create, plug in the hashtags, press submit, and then run faster than Forrest Gump away from the platform, and then not engage with any of your ideal clients online, not answer people's questions. You get my drift, try to come back a day later and be like, well, I only have 2 likes. Hashtags don't work for my business. Hashtags don't work for my social media profile. My content isn't good enough. It's like, no. It's because hashtags are not a strategy. They are a part of a strategy, okay? And I'm gonna get into that in tip number 4 about how you can make hashtags a part of your strategy so they start to work for your content, because hashtags are amazing. What's the point of using hashtags, right? The point of using hashtags is that hashtags populate your content into another search criteria on social media. So for example, when I don't use hashtags on my posts, the only people that are seeing my content are my followers, okay, or my connections. But if I use a hashtag and I have a public profile, let's just say I use hashtag, my most popular ones are social media, digital marketing strategy, sales, business, you guys get my drift. When I use those specific hashtags, my content is now seen in that search. And dependent upon the amount of people that are following that hashtag, which can be about 80,000 people upwards to about, I think, digital marketing has about 19 million people following it. It's just an easy way to get your content seen by your ideal clients and by people that are interested in what you have to say just by adding a hashtag. So yes, hashtags are important. You should be using them on LinkedIn, but just remember that hashtags, just using them, it's not enough. It's a part of a strategy. But like I said, I'm gonna get into that more in tip number 4. So today I'm gonna give you guys 4 tips on how to use LinkedIn hashtags successfully. So if you guys ever have any questions, always let me know in the comments, whether you're watching now, replay, or YouTube. And if you find any sort of value in this video, I'd be so thankful if you could give me a like while you're listening and tuning in. So the first tip that I have for you is that you want to use hashtags that are only relevant to your post, okay? So what a lot of people do is that they get kind of hung up in the number. So it's like, you know, this is like the hot thing going around on LinkedIn right now, because I think I have someone ask me every single day. They're like, Kylie, I think you're only allowed to use like 3 hashtags on LinkedIn. But then another person's like, you know, should I only be using 10 hashtags? And they're so hung up on the number and they're less concerned about the relevancy of the hashtag that they're using on their post, right? So my advice for this is that it's February 2020. I've split tested this and I've seen my post rank in every single hashtag that I use on LinkedIn. Not the first 3, not 3 only. I probably use about I want to say I use about 10 a post. But I go based off the relevancy. So if I find that I need to use 10 to 15 because everything I say is relevant to those hashtags, I'm going to use them. What I'm not going to do is I'm not just going to hit a specific number just to say, you know, I hit 30 hashtags, kind of like Instagram, okay? Because what a lot of people do is they'll flood those hashtags, right? They'll use Insta good, Insta love, Insta daily, Insta like, and it's like your ideal clients highly likely are not looking in that hashtag search, okay? It doesn't matter how many people use the hashtag, you get my drift. You wanna make sure that your hashtags posts are relevant to your niche. So if I do a post on content, valuable content on social media for business, for entrepreneurs, how they can grow their following on LinkedIn, what type of hashtags do you think I'm gonna use there? Business, social media, marketing, strategy, digital marketing. Social media marketing, you guys get my drift. When you guys start posting content, you're gonna notice that you're gonna use about the same types of hashtags because all of your content should be based around your niche. So another thing that you need to do this is tip number 2, when you use relevant hashtags for your posts, you need to perform every single time keyword research to see if people are actually using the hashtag you're about to hashtag for. Because this is another thing people do, is they'll make up their own hashtag, which I highly recommend you have one branded hashtag. So mine is hashtag Kylie Francis. And the reason for that being is that people can follow my hashtag, and whenever I post, because they're following my hashtag, they can see my content. Okay. And it's another way for me to direct people to my content. I'm like, you can go follow my hashtag, you can follow me, you can connect with me, you guys get my drift. Okay. So I always recommend that you have one branded hashtag, but going back to keyword research is that what you think might be the way people word it is actually the opposite. So this actually just happened to me. When I made a post on Monday, I think I was going to use I was going to use Motivation Monday because that's just how it was phrased in my mind, right? So I wrote that in my post, but then I always write my posts on my computer and then I'll check on my phone for keyword research. And I'll tell you how to perform keyword research in a second. So when I went to my phone to look for keyword research, I saw that there were only about 5 people following Motivation Monday, or I forget which way I just told you. But Motivation Monday, there were 5 people following it, but Monday Motivation, there was about 5 million people following that hashtag. So just note that what you think might be or what you want to hashtag might not be the most popular choice, and there could be a better choice for you just by performing keyword research. Because remember, on LinkedIn, people can follow hashtags, right? So you want to make sure that you're picking the hashtag that people are actually following. Because if you just kind of make up all your own hashtags, like Kylie Francis superstar social media person, or like social media expert to corporations, and kind of like social media superstar, I'm just kind of making these up off the top of my head. If you make up all of your hashtags off the top of your head and you don't go look and see if people are actually following it, it's almost like a void. Because if no one's following the hashtag, no one's looking at it. And no one's going to see your post anyway. So it's actually, even though you're using it, doesn't mean it's going to help you, okay? So the third tip, I want to tell you guys how to perform keyword research. So how to perform keyword research, what you're going to do, it's so simple. All you're going to do is you're going to log onto the LinkedIn app or log onto it on your website, and you're going to the LinkedIn search bar and you're searching hashtag marketing, hashtag sales, hashtag education, right? Whatever your niche is. And when you search for it, you can click on the hashtag and you can see how many people are following that hashtag. Now, this is going to go into my third tip, but I want to continue explaining this. When you go and search for a hashtag, a guided search will also come up for you. So for example, if I type in marketing, like hashtag marketing, I will see other types of marketing hashtags that are available to me on LinkedIn. So maybe the one that I typed in might not be the best option, but I can go and look at the guided search criteria and see like recommendations that LinkedIn gives to me, click on those hashtags and see if I should add that to my post, or maybe use a guided search one instead of the one that I had typed in. So for example, if I use hashtag marketing, it would be hashtag, like a guided search example would be like hashtag marketing strategy, hashtag marketing tip, hashtag digital marketing. All of these are going to pop up underneath. You're going to see this. This is very popular, especially on Pinterest, on a lot of search engine-based social media channels. So it's also on YouTube. Like when you start searching for LinkedIn, the guided search comes up. So it's like LinkedIn marketing for beginners, LinkedIn, how to go viral on LinkedIn, all things LinkedIn. So you type in the niche and then long tail keywords come up in the keyword search, okay? So just remember that the way that you think of, especially a long tail keyword, which consists of more than one word, so like marketing strategy, digital marketing, marketing digital, how you reframe or how you phrase the wording, you might need to flip-flop the words, which is why keyword research is so important. And I actually got this on another video that I did on LinkedIn. I think it was my LinkedIn Marketing for Beginners video. I'm gonna link that up here. Is that, do I need to do this every single time that I post? And it's yes, because unless, I mean, obviously you only have to research it once and then you're kind of going to remember that like, okay, social media has a lot of people following it. Social media marketing, once you do post consistently, like I said, you're probably going to start using the same hashtags, but let's just say it's a new one. You're going to want to do hashtag research because like I said, if no one's following that hashtag, or maybe it has like 5 followers, it's not to say that it's not important, but you might not need to use it. Does that make sense? Let me know if this is making sense in the comments. John says, loving the LinkedIn tips. I'm so happy to hear that, John. Thank you for letting me know. So the third tip that I have for you guys about LinkedIn hashtags, and you're going to notice this when you start performing keyword research, is which hashtags do I use based upon the number of followers that are following that hashtag. So my advice for tip number 3 is to mix up hashtags with high follower count and a semi-low follower count. So what I mean by that number is about, I always say do about 3,000 and up. If you're new on LinkedIn, like a baby, you can even go into the 1,000 range. But what you want to do is I don't want you guys to discredit the 3,000 or the hashtags that have maybe like 3,000 followers versus the ones that have a following count of, let's just say 20 million. Okay, like entrepreneurship is 22 million or something like that. Digital marketing is 19 million. You guys get my drift, okay? Because what a lot of people do is they love going to what's popular, right? They love only using the popular hashtags. But there's a problem with that, especially if you're just starting out on LinkedIn. Because if I use the hashtag digital marketing or entrepreneurship, and I have about 4,100 followers on LinkedIn, and my posts see about like I've taken the time to build up my engagement to get about 150 likes on my posts, 80 comments, you guys get my drift. And you're just starting on LinkedIn and your mindset's kind of like, okay, I want to use the only popular hashtags. You're going to start competing against the content creators that have been there for a while. So the problem with that is that LinkedIn prioritizes, just like Instagram, they prioritize the posts that get the most engagement. So just know that you can use highly popular hashtags, but just know your expectations, okay? You're gonna have to like build up your profile a little bit, especially in the beginning, in order to be seen on those highly populated hashtags, because you're competing with the likes of Gary Vaynerchuk, Tony Robbins, Oprah. You guys get my drift, okay? So I never say never. I never say don't use them because you're just starting out. But just know that you're probably going to get more, even like the same results actually when it comes to leads if you stick with the lower popular hashtags, okay? So what I mean by that is this. If there's a hashtag that's relevant to your post and it has about 10,000 followers versus one that has 22 million, I say prioritize the 10,000. You can use both, but know that you're probably going to get a better result from the 10,000 follower hashtag than you would with the 22 million. So what I don't want you guys to do, especially as a beginner on LinkedIn, is to only use the hashtags where there's like 22 million people following it just because you think, oh, more people are going to see my content, so I need to use those hashtags, okay? No, that's not true. Remember, 10,000 people is still 10,000 people, okay? It's more than 0, which is not using hashtag. It's more than 1, which is when you make up your own hashtags in your head. And even though it's less than 22 million, your post is actually probably going to have a higher chance, actually not probably, it definitely is, going to have a higher chance to rank in the hashtag search if you use one that has less followers, because you're not necessarily competing with Gary, Tony, Oprah, unless they use that hashtag as well, which they're probably not. They don't really prioritize it because, quite frankly, they don't need to. They have like 10 million followers, okay? So just make sure when you're using your hashtags, don't worry about the number. This is like I already said in the first tip. Worry about the relevancy, but also perform, tip number 2, the guided keyword research. So for tip number 3, you can mix up the follower count. And how do you know how many followers are following a hashtag? You click on it and then it'll tell you how many followers it has. So this goes with tip number 4, because like I said in the beginning of this video, hashtags are not a strategy, okay? Hashtags are to be used as a part of a social media strategy, okay? Because in tip number 4, what I'm gonna tell you to do is to follow the hashtags that you use probably on every single post, niche hashtags, so you can go into the hashtags and engage with your ideal clients. Now, this is the part that I know that people watching this video are not gonna do, and it's the same exact reason why you're not growing on insert any social media platform here, is because what a lot of people do, and I use this example in the beginning, is that they'll use these hashtags, they'll use the best hashtags. Their content is amazing. It has nothing to do with that, right? But what they do is they do all the things on their checklist, like check, 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 press submit, and then they'll run faster than Forrest Gump away from the platform, and they won't return until the next day until they need to do the checks again. And then they don't understand why they're not seeing that engagement with their social media posts. And you're not seeing the engagement because you're not going out there engaging with anybody else, right? Engagement starts when we are when we are engaging. In order to get engagement, we need to start the process, okay? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow those niche hashtags, and you're going to start engaging with other people's accounts on LinkedIn. Now, what I don't want you to do, and I explained this in the video that I linked earlier, which is the LinkedIn Marketing for Beginners video and how to go viral on LinkedIn. I think I'll link that up here again if I didn't say that already. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to comment like, the bot comments we see on Instagram. You don't want to leave like hundreds. You don't want to leave like 80 thumbs up. You want to leave a thoughtful, valuable comment. And the reason why you want to do that is because other people are reading that post. Other people are seeing what you're writing. So what does that do? If you only take the time to leave one emoji that's a thumbs up, anyone can do that. That's like the laziest comment that you can make. Instead, take the time to write 2, 3, 4 sentences or however long it takes you to get your point across as in your own opinion or why you love that post, right? Because when you start doing that on other people's profiles, one, other people are going to see your profile and they're going to connect with you, not just the original poster, but other people looking. I always say just because they don't like doesn't mean they don't lurk. There's a lot of lurkers on LinkedIn. How do I know that? Because right now the statistic for content creators on LinkedIn is out of the 300 million active monthly users, only 1% is creating content. Okay? So yes, you actually, in order to get followers on any social media platform, you actually also have to create content. So that's why hashtags is why I'm talking about the hashtags, because this is for the people that want to create content, but maybe they're struggling in the beginning, or maybe they've been doing it for a while and they're not seeing that return on investment just yet. And a large part of it being is just the mindset around it, because a lot of people think that they can use the hashtags and they like get this freebie. It says like, do this hashtag, that hashtag, check, 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 check. They use all the hashtags, they run off the platform faster than Forrest Gump, and then they come back the next day and they're like, I got 2 likes. And it's like, because you're acting like a robot. And this is why I'm so against marketing automation, is because it teaches people to become robots. It teaches people, just like content calendars. It's like you do the most vanilla marketing strategy, and then people wonder why they're not standing out on social media. And it's because you're actually acting like a robot. So how can you bring back that human, interaction where you're vulnerable, you're authentic, you care about people? And you do that by showing up for people and being a source of value and helping other people out online. And that strategy has worked tremendously for me. I mean, I've grown my following across, I'm going to say like 7 platforms, and it's at 145,000 followers. Like, I'm not here saying I have 800 followers. I'm telling you guys what to do. Like, this works. Okay. So the 4th step, is the most important one, because I already said this before. I'm going to say it again. Hashtags are not a strategy. Using the perfect hashtags with the perfect content, posting at the perfect time on social media does not mean you're going to get the best results. How you get results on social media is when you start acting like a person. You go into the hashtags and you start supporting and engaging with other people by being a source of value to them. That's how they know that 1, you exist. 2, you have the solution to their problem. And 3, that's how they find you. Because people are always like, well, how do I find my ideal clients on social media? It's like, you don't find them, they find you through your content, and hashtags help with that, because using the right hashtags populates your content in another search criteria that is related to your niche if you're doing all these 4 steps correctly. Right? So if you guys are loving this, let me know in the comments and give me a thumbs up on LinkedIn if you guys are loving this video so far. So I'm practically done. Those were the 4 tips. So I'm going to repeat the 4 tips. And if you guys have any questions about what I said, always let me know in the comments, whether you're watching now on Facebook Live, watching the replay, or if you're watching on YouTube. I answer everybody's questions. So I'm all ears, whether you made it live or you're watching the replay. So the first tip, I think before all the tips, remember, hashtags are not a strategy. They are a part of a strategy. Write that down, because that's so super important. And that's probably the reason why you're not seeing the result that you want on social media. So 1, make sure that the hashtags are relevant to your post. So if I'm posting about social media, I'm not going to use hashtag, Forex trading. I don't know why that just came into my head. I think it's because I get all those bot comments on Instagram about Forex trading. I'm not going to use Forex trading on my posts because that has nothing to do with my posts, okay? I'm going to use social media marketing strategy, business, online business, sales, blah, blah, blah. Whatever it has to do with my posts, use that. Stop worrying about the number of hashtags. Start worrying about if it's relevant to your posts. Also, no need to bomb your post with like 80 hashtags, okay? I use around 10. Sometimes it's 5. Sometimes it's 15. There's no black or white answer yet. So yeah, I'm not saying that could possibly change in the future, but just know, worry less about the number of hashtags that you're using and just make sure that they're relevant to your posts. Now, you know they're relevant to your posts if you perform tip number 2, which is keyword research. So keyword research is just making sure before you use a hashtag that you're going to the LinkedIn search bar, you're typing in hashtag social media, hashtag marketing strategy, whatever ones you thought up of in your head, and making sure at least 3,000 people are following that hashtag. Because the problem is if you're using like hashtag mommy millionaire to the stars or like hashtag Kylie Francis social media expert, blah, 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 and no one's following the hashtag, it's a void, right? We use hashtags to get in front of our ideal clients. So we need to make sure that we're using the hashtags that people are actually following. And I almost made this mistake as well. I used this example before and I'll say it again. I did a post, it was a motivational post on a Monday. So I don't remember which way it was, but I think I had Monday Motivation, which had like 40 followers or something like that. It was something really low. But Motivation Monday, I forget which way it was, but Motivation Monday had like 10 million followers. So if I never performed that keyword research, in my mind, I would have been thinking, oh my God, this is so popular. I'm going to reach millions upon millions of people, but that would have been wrong, right? So always take the time every single time before you post to perform that keyword research. It takes literally 2 seconds, if that, probably 1. You can start typing in like 3 letters and your hashtag's probably going to come up. But not only that, it'll also give you a guided research tool on LinkedIn so you can see other popular hashtags, which is awesome because there's going to be ones that pop up that you never would have thought of about before, just by the way people worded hashtags on LinkedIn. So the third tip that I had for you guys was to make sure that you mix up the high follower count hashtags with the low follower count hashtags. And if you're new to LinkedIn and you're just starting to create content, I highly, highly recommend that the majority of your hashtags are in the low follower count, because the point of using hashtags is to be seen in the hashtag search. You're not going to be seen in the hashtag search if you only commit to posting hashtags that Gary Vaynerchuk also uses, Oprah uses, Bill Gates uses, because the problem is they're going to beat you because they have 20 million followers and you probably have 200, which is fine. But you're more than likely to stand out if you focus on using hashtags that have about like 2,000 followers, 10,000 followers, maybe 40,000 followers. Remember, 10,000 people is still 10,000 people, and it's going to mean more if your post actually gets up ranked high in the hashtag search versus using, I'm not saying that you can't use, but versus using all hashtags that are kind of like, 20 million posts per hashtag. You get my drift, because your post is just never going to be at the top unless you're getting that engagement. How do you get that engagement? The fourth tip: follow niche hashtags and start engaging with the people that are in your community, but also ideal clients. You can follow clients, or you can follow hashtags that your ideal clients are also looking for or following as well. Because the whole point, which is what I said in the beginning, this is like a full circle moment, is that in the beginning, what I said is that using hashtags is not a strategy. Using hashtags is a part of a strategy. So how do you make it a part of a strategy? You have to follow hashtags and you have to go in there and engage with people on their posts. You don't have to do it on every single one or hit a quota for the day where it's like, okay, I did it for 5 people, I'm done. It's like, no, scroll through, see which ones resonate with you in your business, see which ones you can add value to. What is value? I get that question all the time. It's when you can provide more information or you can answer somebody's question as a comment on their post. Because remember, everyone's seeing that post, right? So if I comment on Tony Robbins' post and he has 11 million followers and I'm the first comment, not only does Tony, if he even looks at a social media account, who knows? So it's probably a bad example. Tony's gonna see it, but not only that, all the 11 million other people are gonna see my comment too. And if it's of value, people will follow me because I just proved that I know what I'm talking about, right? So I hope you guys notice how this goes full circle here. So it's like understanding that just using hashtags is not part of the strategy, but it's also how to use the right ones, which is pretty much dependent upon where you're at in your journey. But that's not enough. You got to follow them and you have to engage in them as well, because when you support other people, when you start the engagement process, you're going to get that engagement in return. So yeah, that's really all that I have to say for today. If you guys learned anything, let me know what your favorite tip was in the comments. I love when you guys tell me what you learned because it just makes me happy, like that I can help you guys succeed and whatever. So let me know what your favorite tip was in the comments. If you guys want to hear more or about anything about LinkedIn, always let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for new topics to talk about on my live streams. And I love when you guys ask me questions because then I can help you while I'm on live. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions related to social media marketing, always let me know in the comments because your question could quite literally and anonymously be the topic of my next live stream. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Bye guys.